UFOs. I've been seeing these for many, many years. Higher dimensions aren't actually up there somewhere. You are shifting. You open up a different atmosphere, a different sky. Wormholes, and through really burrowing themselves through time-space portals. Well, those would be the lower dimensional ones that typically you don't want to be involving yourself with or excited to see. The fact that you are here in a body on Earth means that you have other parts of yourself that you left in other coordinates in time-space, other galactic versions of yourself. Is the alien invasion underway? What are these UFOs? Are they drones? Are we getting invaded? What are aliens anyway? I wanted to do a video like this for quite a while, so this is the perfect opportunity to talk about the differences between what are actually aliens versus galactic beings, UFOs, and all this crazy stuff going on. And we'll get into lots on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm Roxanne. I talk about ascension, awakening, spirituality, and all the craziness in between. So let's get right into it. A lot of people are seeing these drones, these UFOs. What is going on out there? Well, to start out with, when we open up our consciousness, we can see higher dimensions. So these things were always there. Now, I'll get into what these things are in a bit. But people are waking up their consciousness, opening up themselves to higher dimensions, which means they're able to see fourth dimension, fifth, sixth, and beyond. So for me, when I see UFOs, I've been seeing these for many, many years. I see what are light ships zooming through the sky, almost similar to like a shooting star. Now that's completely different than what people are seeing out there. These more of a metal type ship. We can say that will be either astral aliens or, of course, the generic military black ops, all these different things, right? Because people need to realize that there's many agendas going on. One of them is to shake up everything at its core. Now, a great way is to have this worldwide phenomenon of a UFO kind of invasion happening, where the masses are seeing these things. Again, they might have always been there. But this could also be a ploy by governments to, of course, incite fear and create a lot of control, right? Because our beliefs about reality literally creates reality. If we have a belief about something, like for example, aliens don't exist, you physically won't see an alien if it's standing right in front of you. And that's because of your alignment in the quantum field, which is really whatever alignment we are at dictates our perception of reality. So higher dimensions aren't actually up there somewhere. You are shifting your the orbit of your atoms to a different vector, let's just say. So instead of you, for example, being a typical 3D human, maybe you are standing up vertically. So your atoms, your electrons, all of your subatomic particles are orbiting on a certain plane of existence. Higher dimensions, you access them from going so deep within yourself that you open up yourself, you hold more frequency. This is why the whole ascension is happening, right? The whole shift. It is literally bringing in more frequency into your physical body, spiritualizing the physical. So your actual particles making up yourself, which is really just spirals of energy, can shift their direction in time space, and you're able to start opening up yourself to different dimensions that are right here. Everything's happening in the same space. Okay, so that's the thing to realize, is that it's you that shifts. You open up a different atmosphere, a different sky. So people that are existing at that third dimensional existence, they don't see aliens. For example, I'm talking about like real aliens or galactics. They won't be able to see that. It's the same thing as, you know, people that don't see stuff coming out of planes, let's just say, I'm not going to use the word. That is because it's operating at a different bandwidth of frequency, a different alignment that you have to shift to first to see them. This is why someone standing right beside you might not see a ship when you're looking right at it. So that's the first thing to realize. What are aliens versus galactic beings anyways? I would call an alien a being that should not be here in our earth plane. It is alien to where we are in our state of matter, in our evolutionary process. And so we can think of that type of being as more of a negative orientated being that gets here through wormholes and through really burrowing themselves through time-space portals to come and manipulate people. Okay, completely different from galactic, organic aspects of yourself. Now, there's infinite other realms, pockets, spiritual worlds. There's infinite numbers. Think about that. Okay, so when we think of galactic beings or angelic beings, these are parts of your own multidimensional structure. Completely different than some alien coming here to extract DNA and mess with humans, okay? I'm going to show you a little bit of a drawing. So the fact that you are here in a body on Earth means that you have other parts of yourself that you left in other coordinates in time space, other galactic versions of yourself. And so the process of ascension, of evolution, is really opening up yourself to these higher dimensional planes, downloading that galactic version of yourself that you left there because we downstep into more and more physicalized existence from the entire quantum field, from source. Now, so the fact that you are here means, okay, this is my terrible drawing, means you have other aspects of yourself. We can say different versions. I'm going to start that again. Different higher dimensional aspects that we can think of as they are anchored within yourself, but you don't have access to them until you open up and shift. It's almost like these stargates within yourself, locks, seals between these different vectors or dimensions in time space. We can think of it similar to like a chakra, but it's actually, we have many chakras beyond the 7. Those are like the basic kind of like body ones. And we have then 15 chakras that really coordinate with our antiparticle plus our particle chakras, but we have infinite numbers. Let's just say every little atomic spin of yourself is its own little white hole, black hole chakra, which we can think of as little tiny Merkaba fields. So we have infinite other aspects of ourselves that we need to start downloading into our own body, which means that you open up within yourself a portal, not by going up there and by astral projection or things like that. You need to open up a space within yourself by healing the fractal soul. This is why I talk about these things all the time, and I did a full masterclass on this. And then you're able to start downloading other versions of yourself that are existing in other time-space coordinates. That is what galactic beings are. These are actually part of the evolutionary process of you. Completely different than an alien, okay? So I'll get into this type of concept in a future video, so subscribe to Earth 1111 for much more, because I wanted to show you what alien ships that we're seeing up there, like when you see some metal ship up there, probably going to be some military government or multinational corporation that created that. We got to realize that there was a lot of let's just say high technology that came out of the 1940s from Germany. I'm trying not to use certain words. But after the huge event ended in the 1940s, a lot of those scientists came to America, for example, and continued their technologies, their experiments on creating a lot of different things like force fields, like atomic nuclear technologies. They were working with plasma and Merkaba structures. So lots of different, you can think of like sci-fi like technologies. There was literally, you've probably seen pictures of it, a Bell ship. I think it's like a Bell, it's called the Bell or something like that. But there was literally hovercrafts that were beyond our typical planes and jets and helicopters that seemed to hover and not be subjected to gravity in the 1940s. So think about what there is now. We got satellites, we got AI, we got all these crazy things. You think they don't have these ridiculous high-tech creations like ships that seem like they're alien-like? So know that vast majority of what's going on out there is going to be an attempt to try to hijack people, right? Think about all the world religions, for example, that will just come crashing down when people start physically seeing these aliens or these UFOs, right? Think about the chaos that can be created. Now, it's kind of like, yeah, this is part of the process to awakening, because you start questioning. You have mass amounts of people that typically are in their everyday, right, 3D existence that are now like, whoa, are these UFOs real? Are these drones? Are these aliens? Is it, it's also a good way to blame other countries and to say that, oh, it's these drones from from this enemy-like country, right? So just know that there's a lot of that division going on, trying to get you to believe whatever agenda that's created out there. So just know that. But when you are seeing these things, they could be, of course, government, or they could be real alien, which is, if you're seeing these kind of like lower, right? A lot of people get so excited, like the whole kind of UFO culture. They just like want to chase these things around and they can't wait to be abducted and like things like that. Probably not a good thing if you're interacting with astral-like beings from lower planes. Like I said, they are beings that did not evolve through the evolutionary process, that didn't pass the initiation. So some of these literally beings went through, really got dropped in consciousness and are existing in pockets, in cave-like pockets in the earth, even from Atlantis times. So they're coming up here and really interacting with humans. And it isn't something you want to call upon yourself to encounter. Completely different than an actual light ship or a pure Merkaba. So when you have Merkaba fields, which is really counter-rotating spirals. You got one, I'm just going to show you here. You got, this is like the standard of what a ship is, same as your own light body. We have multiple Merkaba fields, but a basic one would be you have a certain spiral in a certain, so think about like a spin. You also need a counter-rotating spin. You need the opposite. So we need one clockwise and one counterclockwise. So now we also got this other spiral. So it's probably the same way. Let's. So this is actually now counter-rotating. So now you got one direction and the other direction. It creates this force field that starts creating a sphere. It actually creates a lot more than that. It actually creates these shields, kind of like, you think of it like wings. So if you're having like like a lot of you watching my videos are having like your actual Kundalini, your light body being built, your Merkaba. For me, it's been something that I've existed as for so many years. It's just my normal state. But this is your own extended physical body parts that we've been taught to ignore, right? You don't, unless you can see it and measure it, right? That whole atomic kind of like mindset of these very limited soulless scientists that are out there, unless you can measure it, like the particle of something, it doesn't exist. But But then they discount the fact that there's this dark matter matrix, which is really the ether, the field behind the physical things we see. So the field dictates what is created. And that would be the antiparticle quantum field. Really, we can think of that as like spirit behind the physical. So this is all spinning, right? This is all spinning. And you create, using different colors, but really what you're creating is a force field that is not going to be manipulated by gravity the same way that we are as a 3D human. So this is literally how you get this sphere. You become spherical consciousness. Now, this is a very basic Merkaba, but this is literally when you see those, those ships, those flying saucers, that is what you're literally seeing, is you're seeing, right, these flying saucers. Well, what you're seeing is the shield created by the Merkaba field. You could be seeing actual physical metal type structures. Well, those would be the lower dimensional ones that typically you don't want to be involving yourself with or excited to see. Because those are the ones that are alien to this creation, that come to mess with people, to extract their DNA, right? To do experiments, all these different things you hear. Well, it's because they have lost their way in the evolution of consciousness. So what they have to do is to tap in to organic consciousness and try to get themselves, their DNA back in line. But it's too late, right? Now, that's also what's happening with a lot of the crazy technologies going on right now in our world. They're not for the best of humanity. But that I'll get into another whole video, because I want to talk that in detail about all the toxic technologies that are going on, and things like AI and all these different crazy things. There's always a good, but a very bad reason for a lot of different things happening. So when you're seeing these flying saucers, you're seeing these certain maybe triangle ships or different things like that. If it is a higher dimensional ship, it typically is not going to come here just to hover and hang out. Like there's no purpose, right? The purpose of our higher dimensional aspects, our higher dimensional galactic parts of ourselves, are to up-level us. They don't need, so because they have this Merkaba field, this is an infinite field that constantly generates and sparks quantum. They don't need to come and suck on some energy from different places on the planet. They don't need the energy of the planet, because they are their own infinite being. So a Merkaba field is a conscious, alive ship. That's the thing to think about too, is, well, everything has consciousness. Some is kind of like destructed, or, kind of like dead consciousness when something is degraded. But everything has consciousness. Everything is alive. Even this, this wall, this chair. But when you have your own Merkaba field, these ships that you see that are higher dimensional ships made of light, pure light, they don't need metal. They don't, right? They are made up of plasma or beyond. And so they don't need external sources of energy. So we got to realize that this all relates to things like free energy, things like technologies that we could be actually experiencing on this planet to help the planet. All of these things are pretty much already known to some of these, governments and things like that. But they don't want that. They like the middleman making the money off of toxic technologies. So it all is kind of related. But just know that when you see metal ships or different things like that, they're not self-sustaining Merkaba fields. It's an external technology. When a being has to use external technology, that is showing you that they are not infinite. They are not connected to the source field. They are not generating their own quantum. They are parasitic beings. So before I finish the video, I want to quickly mention about the spiritual version of this, which is people that channel. When a being needs your body, they have to come into your body, push your consciousness to the side, and speak through you and your body and your mouth. Know that that is not a being that is your own or that person's higher dimensional, multidimensional self. Because your own galactic, angelic, all these, because we have many different higher dimensional versions of ourselves that we can open up and interact with, download into ourselves. They don't need your physical body. They can manifest at will using their Merkaba field. So they can appear right to you. So a lot of times you will interact with them. They will feel like they come up here, their face is right here. It's actually because you're usually connecting with them through your crown, sometimes through your heart. But know that they will not come in and interfere with your own evolution by pushing you aside and using your body to communicate with. So just be very aware, because that is a huge issue I see out there on YouTube in the world, where people are really just listening to these channelers like it's God's word. They're not here to give you predictions, to influence you and try to make you do things or believe certain things. Your own higher dimensional structure is always going to be something that brings you deeper within yourself, more conscious. Like if a person channeling comes out of that channel and doesn't remember anything, has no idea what happened, red flag. Okay? The person that is downloading their own, or that is being the channel for their own higher dimensional aspects, is fully conscious, is fully aware, fully in their body, and is actually tapping into higher versions of themselves. Completely different. Okay, so just be very aware, because this same type of thing with, UFOs, aliens, it all interrelates to as well the whole new age spiritual issues going on, because there's a lot of them. And you'll see these people don't evolve. You can see these people over many years on YouTube and things. They don't evolve their own consciousness because they're tapping in, they're being tapped into, let's say, their energy siphoned into these lower astral realms. But I'll get into more on a separate video where I talk about Atlantis and more about aliens, more about the astral plane and things like that. If you're interested, check out my courses and my classes where I do talk about a lot more of these things. And if you're really serious about evolution and ascension and learning a lot more of these crazy concepts, join my master membership, where you get a brand new masterclass on exciting and unique topics every single month at huge discounts. So definitely become a master member, and you can learn and go deep on many different things to activate your own DNA so you can step into your highest timeline. You can check out all my offerings. I'll put the link below in the description on earth1111.com. Thank you so much. I hope that you learned a bit on this video. Again, this is just something I wanted to talk about right now, as we see a lot of it coming into people's awareness. So know that you are here to evolve, not to play small and expect some alien to come save the day. So just know that. Lots of love. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. And if you have had interactions with, your higher galactic selves, if you've seen light ships or aliens and things like that, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear, and I hope I earn a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for more videos to come, and share this one on your social media platforms. You can follow my different content there on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X. Lots of love. I'm Roxanne. We'll see you very soon on Earth 1111.